Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are checking out some more Spy Family and hopefully getting some wholesome Forger family moments because I need it. Maybe some comedy. I think that's gonna happen when they get back home from their vacation. I think there's gonna be some comedy there, especially if Yiddy is there. You know, he has a chaotic energy. And last we saw him, he was sick with a cold until he drank the really awful tasting tea, which I take offense to as a avid tea drinker. I have yet to find a tea that I'm like, absolutely not. There are some teas where I'm not my favorite, not my go-to, but did I finish the entire box? Yes, I did. I have never met a tea that I am offended by yet. There may come a time, but I'm hoping for some wholesomeness after all of the action that we've had in the last few episodes. That was like a whole arc with Yod, and I'm so happy. I've waited so long to get like a whole arc with our sweet girl just being Thorn Princess, shonen protagonist. She was incredible, but I do look forward to having just a little bit of downtime with the Forger family in this episode. So let's just hopefully embrace some cozy vibes. In 3, 2, 1, go. Starting with the opener again. I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's we're gonna be doing some stuff. I really don't know how this part's gonna end. I keep trying to think about it. I don't know, maybe something with Damien? Because we haven't seen him really this season. We had like the story with the camping trip with like his friends, but he's really been shoved to the background, which is strange considering that his family is the focal point of like the main story plot. Oh, I have to check to see if the plane disappears. Okay. The plane does disappear and then we get the clouds. I'm usually not paying that much attention. I'm a little bit distracted by the tea cozy too that they have. Like it would be a little bit crazy for me to make one of those, right? Like there's like being a fan and like doing like cosplay and stuff, and then there's like trying to recreate their home, right? Like that maybe is pushing some boundaries. I kind of want to try anyway. But you know what? I think that maybe we'll end on something with Damien. Maybe, because we're going to be back to school with this episode, at least at the preview we were. Because last series we ended with Donovan, like finally Lloyd meeting him. So maybe we'll hint at something. I love the jazzy, like, swing music in this series, too. I should find the OST and just, like, play it. It'll make me so happy. Just, I was gonna say, her little ear things in the hat. Are we finally gonna reunite? I want to see the moment. I like how she's really using that. She's like, a good father would do this. Reunion! I'm so happy that they're all together. Is he noticing the injury? They're so cute. I like how he was immediately like, you're injured? What's that like? Kitty. Every time there's like, just like the music, it makes me sentimental. Like I feel like crying. So I'm like, I love them. They're doing ziplining? Unimpressed. I want to try ziplining so bad. I love how chaotic Yoda is. They're ganging up on Lloyd now. Oh, you might have wanted to help out Yoda as well. You gotta see how high you can swing. Show off. Oh, I miss Bond. I've noticed that Lloyd is the only one that has the shadow over his eyes, even though they all have brimmed hats. Like he's still more closed off than the other two. It's subtle, but I like it. Say that to the guys that went overboard. I like she's like, and even if there are, I will make them wish that they never were born. All right, real talk. Do you guys want to go scuba diving? Because I very much do not want to. Ask me if I want to go to space? Absolutely. Wouldn't even think twice about it. Would love to go to space. You ask me if I want to go underwater? No. Mm-mm, not a chance. Ooh, too much. Of course, he just knows how to surf. Probably had to do it for some mission, right? Had to go undercover as like a champion surfer or something. Uh-oh. I was gonna say, you better at least catch her. Are you gonna have to carry both of them? He looks put out, but it's also sweet. See, and now that they're not awake, the shadow is off of his eyes. So he feels like he can open up more because they're not there to observe him. Oh, sweet little smile. They use some depth. for that like longer shot. They've been doing some cool things with the camera work in these last few episodes. I don't know if they're just flexing or they got like more funded now because we all love this show. They're also using a lot of 3D models though too, which might help out with some of it. You know, I was gonna say that like some of it feels almost like they're filling oh Bond. Almost feels like they're filling for time. But at the same time, I feel like it's intentional. Like it's the piece after everything that happened, like going through all of this action because the goal was to have peaceful, mundane moments. And I think that elongating those moments is intentional. He wasn't looking at her though, so that makes me think that it feels like he's covering up, right? Like not making eye contact. Oh. Yes, you have to tell everyone about your wonderful vacation that you had. You have something to talk about now. Did she? Or is it lovely by her terms? Oh, the skeleton keychain. I would. If you gave me a skeleton keychain as a souvenir, I'd be ecstatic. Yes, throw a line. Can't be faced. I like how they're trying to kind of meet her halfway, though. Happy at her return. I'm so honestly surprised he didn't like, he wasn't there waiting for them on the return. Yeah, that's the only way he would be able to figure it out. Like the instant change of like, ugh, and him. Aw, that little couple. Like they have to go through the whole setup because there's guests coming over. Matching pajamas. He's so cute. I feel like Lotus are romantic at heart. If he like really let himself just be in the moment, I think he would do it well. Do kids actually think that's cool? I mean, I loved going, seeing the opera and like ballet and stuff, but I was thought of as a weird person. Do rich people actually like it? Brag about it? Like the kids? Smug. True. This is all in her head, isn't it? There's a haze to all of it. I was gonna say, they probably don't think that's a big deal. Oh. Oh. I feel like Damien probably doesn't have a good story because he wouldn't be with his family, right? Oh, you're gonna have to tell the spy story, which is like both real, but also sounds like she's just making up a story. Oh, poor thing. As someone who rarely went on vacation growing up, people be like, "What did you do on your vacation?" And I was like, "Stayed home, read some books, slept in, ate some pizza, you know?" Girl. Poor thing. that's just mean. She's just imaginative. I was like, that seems like some weird self-help stuff. He would know. You shouldn't be lying. I was waiting for his chaos. Forever. They might perish, right? Yeah. Oh. Seems a bit hypocritical. I think he's like, okay, here's how you lie. I love how there's all these like filters on it to be like, this isn't what's actually happening. It's just like the internal. I think his facial expression didn't change. They're all awkward. It's a little tense in here. I feel like this is foreshadowing of like yeah, like lying is too much work and eventually you're gonna burn out because you're trying to keep up with it. I feel like maybe we're gonna get into that at some point soon. I hope so. Even if it's not just like a grand reveal, like they find out everything about themselves in like one grand gesture, but like just like a little something, right? A little connection of like Yoda and Lloyd being able to kind of work together in some way. That's all I want. I want some kind of team up. We'll have to work on Yeti. We'll have to figure out how to work him into the group in a way that isn't problematic. I'm just here vibing. Are we gonna see Fiona again? She's in the outro. I do think it's interesting though that Anya's like, lying's too much work, so I'm not gonna do it anymore. But you do have mind reading powers, so how are we gonna deal with that? Oh, is that Fiona? Yeah! I was like, just saying. She's gonna be in this at some point, right? That was definitely the little rest that I needed. Some of it felt like they were kind of staying on some scenes a little bit too long, but I do feel like that's intentional. I felt like that was them trying to emphasize like these quiet, mundane moments are why everything happened. Like why these characters are doing the things that they're doing is to get this moment where you can be in that moment, you know, and then it like let it sit there and not have to rush through it. And having all of these scenes where the only audio is like the music playing is like this way of kind of making this like serenity to it that I think is very intentional, because the pacing for like the rest of the episode was closer to what it usually is. So having those moments of elongating the scenes, I think is just to really emphasize that. And I think it's a really clever way of contrasting with this very fast-paced moving through all this action that we've had, lots of plot beats happening. And not having the audio means that it's not character building or anything. It's literally just letting them breathe in the moment and letting like the audience breathe and have their moment to relax into the story again before going on to the next thing. And I definitely feel like we're foreshadowing a little bit that we're talking about lying and how lying is a lot of work and it can burn you out, and how it's not the thing that you should be doing, because we have quite a few liars in our main cast, quite a few people not telling the whole truth of who they are. So I feel like we may be going into that a little bit more, maybe next part that comes out, maybe foreshadowing a little bit for what might be happening in the last couple of episodes. I don't know, but it looks like maybe we're getting into some more spy stuff. I'm here for a little bit of chaos, you know? I'm here for just us to get into some of the like fun hijinks of this series after deviating into that very long arc with Yor. Still feel weird about her organization, and I don't know if we're gonna loop back to that at some point and explore it a little bit more, because I feel like there's something shifty going on there, and not just because they're assassins, but I feel like there's something else. There's some other layers where I'm like, I don't know if I trust you, and I don't get the same vibe from Lloyd and his organization. They seem like genuine people asking about his vacation, and like they can read him and they feel like they legitimately care about him, whereas like Yor, it's giving me cult vibes and I don't like it. But we haven't spent enough time with them for me to really know, so I'm hoping that we loop back to it at some point soon. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click those plays to go see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss next time I post a Spy Family reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye!